You're watching Cox Connections only on Cox 11. The Arc of the Virginia Peninsula serves more than 1,000 individuals with developmental disabilities annually in employment, community living, day support, and early childhood programs. Their services range from coordinating developmental therapies for children to helping aged loved ones with disabilities. They also offer employment programs that allow people with disabilities to earn their own wages and experience the pride of work. President and CEO Kasia Grzelkowski joins me today to tell us how the ARC helps people with disabilities make a difference in our community. So thanks for being with us today,
Delighted
Kasia.
to be here. Thank you.
So let's start. Clearly the ARC, I mean, it has a long history of providing a major impact in the community. How long has that been, and what degree of impact has the ARC made in this area of working with people with disabilities?
We have been proudly serving people with disabilities and their families since 1953.
Wow.
And as you just said, we really are one of the most comprehensive service providers for people with disabilities in the country.
Wow.
With our services starting at birth and supporting folks throughout a lifetime. And that means a tremendous amount to each and every individual, but also to their families, who are able to go to work when their loved one with disability is working. But we work also with all three sectors of our economy as well. And with over 700 employees, many of them people with disabilities, we're actually a major employer and a major business in this community as well. And our impact actually extends beyond the peninsula. We actually have an office in Norfolk that supports one of our federal contracts for the Navy. We put food on ships for the Navy and are actively hiring for that job right now.
So this issue of a job, employment for people with disabilities, talk for a moment about what does a job mean for a person with a disability?
Well, unfortunately, nationwide, over 70% of people with disabilities are unemployed. And that is truly over 70%.
Over 70%.
Some surveys say up to 85%.
Wow.
And that is truly a tragic waste of human potential. And so in addition to the value of a paycheck, there is also an invaluable sense of pride and dignity that comes from being a productive citizen. And one individual we serve, Anne, graduated from high school to nothing until they heard about one of our work programs. She's now been working for us for over 24 years, but at that time she was at home after all her hopes and dreams.
So clearly it's much more than just a paycheck. I mean,
Absolutely.
This is independence, it's pride, it's changing a person's life.
It's a sense of purpose that lets you get up every day.
So you mentioned some of the programs. Talk a little bit about some of the employment programs that the ARC currently offers.
Since people with disabilities so much want to work, we actually have 4 different work programs so that we really maximize each person's success. So we currently employ over 500 individuals with disabilities, and they earn over $4.5 million in wages in our region each year.
I mean, and that has to be huge, because if they weren't working, someone would be
Absolutely
accountable for taking care of them. So that's
absolutely
there's huge benefit there.
Yeah, depending on the disability, another parent or caregiver might have to stay home and forego an income, let alone having their loved one be depressed that they aren't actually out working
so
in the community.
This is on-site employment where they're going to a job every day or a couple of times a week or whatever. This is on-site employment.
Our on-site employment, both in our Hampton facility and in Gloucester, about 200 folks come to work each day and proudly perform work for over 50 local businesses. And they're actually the best employees around. They do a wide array of manufacturing, assembly. In addition to that, our on-site employment, we have about 110 individuals who work directly for a community employer out in the community with the support of a job coach. And we also are very proud of our federal work.
So these are government contracts that the ARC has to provide services to the federal government.
Exactly. And we actually hold 13 of those at the moment and growing. 11 of those are here in our region. And we are actually the prime contractor on 2 that are national in scope.
And I guess, tell me a little bit about, there's this transition to work program you have as well?
Yes, our transition to work program is, again, in Virginia, you're not entitled to services as an adult. You're entitled to education, but unfortunately we have thousands of students each year graduating with hopes and dreams and skills and landing back home. So we created a transition to work program to help make a successful transition for special ed students from the classroom to the workplace. And we are extremely grateful to Cox Charities for a recent grant in support of that program.
Yeah, well, it clearly was a worthwhile program, and we're all about helping young people, in this case, These are young people who, again, if we're not for this program, what would happen to them? So we were very proud to be a part of that. Now, talk a little bit about, I guess there's this early prevention and intervention effort that you have for these children. Talk a little bit more about that. We only have about a minute or two left.
Okay, very mission essential. Those critical 0 to 3 developmental years for any child. And right now we support over 400 infants and toddlers each year during that critical developmental time frame to help them maximize and reach their full potential and be ready to enter school and succeed future in life and work.
So as we finish up, and again, I only have about a minute, what would you say to someone listening if they're not familiar with the Arc of the Virginia Peninsula, if they are running a small or medium business or large business for that matter, what could they do to help?
I would most like to focus on helping us create jobs and opportunities for people with disabilities. Really come visit us, see our employees at work. I always say it is only our lack of imagination that limits what they have to offer and what they can accomplish. So come sit down with us, let us talk about what our employees can do to help you succeed with your business endeavors.
So they can make a donation, but they can also create a job. Or
Absolutely.
come and talk to you about that as well.
With a great lasting effect.
Yeah. Well, Kasia, really, you are truly doing God's work, and thank you for all of what you're doing to lead in this effort, your board, and all the great work that you're doing for these families, and it truly is God's work. So thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you so much.
Right after the break, reuse, reduce, and recycle. We can actually make a difference if we all do our part in looking after the environment. We'll tell you what Cox is doing to reduce our carbon footprint. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Cox Connections.